some attention. This is how I've got to be saved. Keep on rocking till I'm in my grave. So what you wanna keep talking all night? Choose your fate, make your way through the night. Stay awake. This like life has just begun. Come on, burn it on the inside.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to more of Whassup Wrestling 155. This is the night where we start the qualifiers for the King of the Deathmatch.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring from Jersey City, New Jersey, AJ Smythe.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, still containing that briefcase, we saw AJ Smythe finally make her return from winning the Money in the Bank briefcase last year. Basically, cashing in for the opportunity to face off against Soo Young Lee at Money in the Bank this year. A whole year spent training, prepping herself, watching, I suppose, keeping focused on Aaron Reed, who was the champion at the time, having to change her stratagem when it came to seeing Sue win at WrestleMania. But she is ready. This is her opportunity, her last chance, and to begin off, she faces off with Booty Club member Ayame Koga.
Representing the B team from New York, Super Smooth Thumper.
Ayame obviously coming down to the ring, accompanied by Nikki. Typically, when you see one Booty Club member, you see them all. Not to be distracted there by the combined booties there. But as we have seen, Nikki Suzuki has not been the most successful. Unlike her sister Linda, who had regained the Firehearts Championship, and Ayame, well, so far she's basically been in the middle, coming close to becoming tag team champions alongside My Magnum. Unfortunately for them, it did not pan out well on either of their opportunities. But with BDSM having their chance at Money in the Bank, at the very least, through an offshoot group, they might acquire the tag team titles. As I said, it has been close to a year since we've seen AJ Smythe inside the ring, and already being greeted with a slap to the face and a suplex courtesy of Ayame, who gets in with a neck breaker. Training is one thing, ring rust another, apparently, as AJ brought back up. And suplex, not with the bridge though. Looks like Ayame wants to continue on the assault. Gonna already take a high risk up top. And misses on the leg drop. Unfortunately, her booty is nowhere near as bootyful, I suppose, as Nikki's, so not much cushion for the landing. Already taking back control though. And a spiked pad right down to the face. Certainly not going to help AJ any. As Ayame already continuing the assault. Drops AJ hard across the apron. I mean, this holds nothing against AJ's match with Soo Young Lee. If anything, it'll just give her the belief that AJ is just not quite ready. She finally manages to turn things around. Dropping Ayame's face to their knee. And representing it to her. AJ thrown back into the ring. And at 7, in comes Ayame, who catches AJ from behind, crosses the arms, and electric chair drop. An interesting thing regarding the Vixens Championship at Money in the Bank is that it will be defended twice. Small pack or package suplex, and just a 2 count. The Vixens Championship will be defended twice at Money in the Bank. The first match will be with AJ Smith taking on Su Young Lee. Oh, another pinning cover operate for 2, and another 2 count for Ayame. So Su and AJ will face off for the Vixens Championship early in the night. Also early in Money in the Bank will be Catherine Neville versus On Hill. The winner of that match will go on to the main event of Money in the Bank to face off for the Vixens Championship against either AJ Smith or Su Young Lee. That's AJ now breaking out the arm. Applying the pressure, and knee right to the bent arm. First cover of the match, though I doubt it'll get too much. Just a quick 2 count. AJ with a few kicks and a drop kick, sending Ayame down. I wonder if AJ was just sort of testing Ayame just to see what she was capable of, what the Booty Club was capable of. And she very much takes control here. Neckbreaker into a cover. Just a 1 count, though. Thrusting out the head and stepping back. And now the Eat Me Out. Locked in on Ayame. Triangle choke, and Ayame unable to get AJ up, but still able to, at the very least, get in a few hits to the face. He takes control, hoping to end this thing quickly. Obviously not. It's just a 1 count. AJ into the corner. Ayame stalking towards her. Trying to choke her out, but her legs swept out as it's AJ into the ropes. Misses on the kick, though, or at least it's batted aside as Ayame breaking AJ down by the arm. Back into the corner. Knocked right back down, kick in the gut. As AJ pulled right out, here's the cover. Only a 2 count. Didn't think it would get too much more than that. Ayame now sent into the corner hard. It's hard, so hard. Misses out on getting that clothesline. Ayame again, no. Hold right back for a knee. Nikki watches on the outside. DDT from Ayame, who by now should realize that AJ is not a pushover. Sent to the corner as Ayame once more stalks towards her. AJ back up to her feet. And kick in the gut from Ayame. Into the ropes now with another neck breaker, twisting around this time. Just twisting by the pool, I suppose. that up and driven back down with the bridge this time. AJ still managing to kick out. And now Ayame gets the leg drop she missed earlier. Nikki surveying down on the damage that Ayame has been given. Halfway through the count as Ayame into the corner, sends AJ into the corner, that is. Just spinning about her in the middle with a slap to the back of the head. Referee at 8. Ayame, you got to go around her. Ayame back in the ring and not going to allow the count to get to 10. Very well could have. AJ sent right back inside after taking another hit. Another kick into the gut. Ayame pulling her out and drives her back first. And again, right back in, and AJ fighting her way back. Drop kick, side of the head. Ayame getting right back up to her feet. Trying to return AJ's momentum against her, but AJ now sends her against the ropes. Hip toss with a bit of flair at the end. Ayame again kicking out. Quite the way of beginning this night's episode, ladies and gentlemen, as Ayame again dodging out of the way. These two competitors keeping it up with each other. It's AJ driven. Ayame chest first. Oh, that's where she's got the most cushion. And, oh, referee, unfortunately, as AJ shakes out her own booty. A bit of a perfect taunt for Ayame or even Nikki. But Ayame with a belly to belly. Had suspicions about the referee perhaps being on the side of the booty club. This is more evidence of that factor. As a result of him getting in the way, Ayame has had the chance to rest and recover and now retake control. Once again into the corner as Ayame comes forward. Has her and pulls her right out. And again and driven down with the bridge once more. And this time it's enough. Ayame Koga picking up the victory. This is definitely going to make Sue happy. See her potential, or not potential, but to see her future challenger come up short. But maybe, I suppose AJ fans can decide that she was just holding back. Saving enough for Sue. A tremendous victory here for Ayame Koga alongside Nikki Suzuki for support. Whassup Wrestling is brought to you by
Making his way to the ring from New York, weighing in at 600 pounds, Kasadeya.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a qualifying matchup for the King of the Deathmatch tournament to be held at the end of July. Thus far, we already have one entrant, even though this is the first qualifying matchup. Colin Styles has been awarded the opportunity to go ahead and enter the tournament, given that he has won the bloodiest match ever too, and really has definitely been on a huge streak as of late. There we go. Although the caveat is that he has requested
New York, weighing in at 155 pounds,
Well, he has requested that every one of his matches be a first blood matchup. The man just wants to bleed, ladies and gentlemen, and he feels that if he can't bleed on a regular episode, he'll bleed when it comes to the King of the Deathmatch. And if he doesn't, well, he just doesn't. He just goes through and comes out victorious. And perhaps even more disappointed as a result. Again, the winner of this one to go on and join up alongside Colin Styles in that King of the Deathmatch tournament. Last year was seen as a tremendous event. This year promises to be even better. And here we go. Bat Dad utilizing his surprising flexibility. One for a trash can. Catching hold of the leg. And face first to the hardwood. Alongside Colin Styles, of course, Crackerjack will be defending his crown. Should honestly have noted that before. As last year's winner of the King of the Deathmatch tournament, he has that right. As Bat Dad bringing Nomad up. Catches him right in the face. Repeated shots and body slam to the outside with some authority behind it. Nomad in a great deal of trouble here. Sent across to the outside again. To the steel steps, stomp to the midsection, courtesy of Bat Dad, who brings Nomad up high enough to take a few hits to the face. Bat Dad looking for something else, comes in, sledgehammer in hand. Ooh! And again! Here's hoping that Nomad already has kids. Sort of thing you can expect to see in FTW. As Nomad being brought, no, just being flung around. And Bat Dad taking a moment to celebrate over top of him, stops to the midsection. And just kicks him away. Nomad finally getting in something, stomping out the face of Bat Dad, who just immediately shoves him away. Tossing the trash can down across his spine. At least it wasn't his groin. Finally sent back into the ring. Bat Dad, who was last victorious just last week against Biff Slamkovich. Nomad to his feet, and nice! Something from Bat Dad. There's a cover. And Bat Dad just half a second away from qualifying for the King of the Deathmatch tournament. This is out in the flying feet from Bat Dad. Nomad shoved away once again. Double stomp down to the shoulder as Bat Dad, cape flung around him. Kind of wearing it like a scarf or a bib. There we go, finally has it set. Drops the knee to the face. Trash can in hand. And, ooh, to the back of the head. Honestly, not certain what Bat Dad was thinking as the trash can tries to divide by 0. Has him up and face first to the apron. Smythe has spent more time outside of the ring than inside. Nomad sent right back inside, but Bat Dad not following, not without his trusty sledgehammer. And again, Bat Dad going low. Here's the cover. And again, Bat Dad coming in close. Nomad trying his hand at garnering a victory. Maybe some revenge to the back of the hand. Now straight down to the face. Tries again. To the hip and to the hip once more. Pulls line though from Bat Dad, turning things around. Sledgehammer just basically being back and forth. Katalina on Nomad. And this Bat Dad building up the bat power. Has the legs. Here's the cover. Sledgehammer just trying to get out of here. Unfortunately, could not do so. Onto the sledgehammer. And of course, Nomad does not get up after that. Just out of nowhere. Somebody check on Nomad as Bat Dad advances into the King of the Deathmatch tournament. You can see him outside recovering. Oh, another individual has certainly been Bat Dadded here tonight. Whassup Wrestling is brought to you by Acme. When you want that Roadrunner dealt with yesterday, today, get Acme.
The following is a submission match. Making her way to the ring, representing Vicious and Delicious from Newcastle upon Tyne, England, Kitty.
Oh, Katalina Star outside of her rubber kitten outfit, making her way to the ring as BDSM stated before. having earned the opportunity to face off against Women Power for the Vixens Tag Team Championship. Almost certain that duo will be Ricci Stevenson and Amaral. That is why tonight, Katalina Star being sent into the Dog's Den to face off against Queen Amazonia in a submission matchup. Katalina is second place in terms of submission wrestlers, having lost that honor to Spice, but Queen Amazonia does have her torture rack.
Standing at 7 feet tall, one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, the Queen.
That's Queen Amazonia making her way to the ring. Former member of the council. In fact, the council's enforcer. After the council disbanded, it was Roxy who came to Amazonia with a new purpose. Essentially, an enforcer for her Women Power movement. Amazonia was certainly willing to jump aboard, and thus Women Power came to be. Amaral certainly pulled into the organization shortly after, accepting it as Amazonia pretty much just basically walks Katalina back into her corner. Hitting the ropes and big time splash over Katalina. Very unfortunate given the size difference, but certainly BDSM will have a much easier time, hopefully, at Money in the Bank. Pulled in and driven right back down again with the power bomb. So that Amazonia will be looking for her torture rack, which has been a very favorite of hers. Well, Katalina, as stated before, having a good plethora of moves that she can pull from. Stop with the backhand, stomp to the gut. That's Katalina firing back. Has Amazonia up with a knee to the face now. Keeping Amazonia down as Katalina comes right in. Despite being an offshoot group of the Booty Club, Katalina has yet to be stamped like Spice. I'm certain that is to be in the Booty Club's senses fixed soon. As referee takes the full collision of Amazonia, and Katalina takes the full. No! Manages to counter out with the DDT. Amazonia actually struggling to get back up, and Katalina basically, I suppose, practicing herself on what she would do. Hitting the ropes, comes right back, running face wash. Now heading to the top. And comes down. Nice drop kick to the face, managing to even land on her feet. Putting in that cat of her namesake. As Amazonia being taken down methodically here by Katalina. Unfortunately, can't continue to take her down, but the height difference serving in Catalina's favor there. But not for long. Sidewalk slam from Amazonia. Almost knocks the air right out of Catalina's lungs. Giving down the weight down to the shoulder. As Amazonia tries the splash, though misses. Both Vixens to their feet same time, but Amazonia with a kick to the gut. Just tosses Katalina away. Now maybe looking for her torture rack. Again, submission match rules. As Katalina brought up on the shoulders. And torture rack applied. Katalina working. And no, manages to get in some elbows to the face, surviving the first rendition of the torture rack. We'll see how much longer she can hold out, though. A shot to the gut has Amazonia up. Clotheslines her right down. True sign of how worn out Amazonia is by the fact that she is flipping up and over. Catalina's second attempt from the top rope misses and just hoisted up by Amazonia. Flurry of stomps and running knee to the side of the head, or more so a running shin. Misses again on the splash. Katalina having to really push herself up to her feet there. Thus far, no submission holds applied by Katalina. Running knee to the face as Amazonia crawls her way to the corner. Face first to the turnbuckle. As Catalina's going to have to start putting in some submission holds. Another attempt and misses on a third time. By this point, Amazonia should just take that one out of the repertoire. And butterfly lock on Amazonia. Here we go. Catalina's first attempt at a submission, but Amazonia managing to get her arm right under her. Perhaps knowing now that Catalina is going in for the kill. Amazonia looking to finish things off with another attempt at the torture rack, and I think this time it may be enough. Amazonia bringing Katalina up. And no, Katalina quick this time. Managing to make an immediate escape. As I said during her entrance, Katalina is an expert in submission wrestling. Her only superior in that is Spice. And we have evidence of that. And repeated stomps right between the shoulders as Katalina focusing down on the head of Amazonia. Now Katalina up on top again. This time manages to get the knee. Amazonia staggering to her feet. Taken down again. Right back to the butterfly lock. Right back where she was before. Amazonia manages to roll right through. Gets in a quick drop kick to the face and misses on the elbow though. Katalina having that one well scouted. Somehow a jawbreaker. I would assume more of a face smasher from Amazonia. Definitely a power slam. But Amazonia misses on the stomp. And Katalina trying to get hold of the ropes. And catches Amazonia just as she turns. Kick to the gut and some heavy hits from Amazonia. Double underhook, suplex, tossing Katalina straight across the ring. That's Katalina in trouble here. Just absolutely deadlift into the air. As Amazonia finally gets the gorilla press. Hefty shot to the face, but that's not it. Katalina gets in a shot of her own. And brings her down once more for the butterfly lock. And Amazonia in trouble here. Katalina putting on the pressure. Amazonia trying to hold on, trying to hold out, trying to wear out Katalina. And finally manages to do so. The damage certainly done. As Katalina brought back up again. Just tossed away with the pump handle. And this has got to be it. A third torture rack. Well, the second one didn't get too much into it. Pressure applied, and that is it. An immediate tap out, and Amazonia very gently putting Katalina down. Even as an opponent, Amazonia respecting a fellow female. Well, she was just here to set up a message. And despite that, Katalina really keeping up with her. Narrowly garnering a victory, but Amazonia just a bit too powerful to take the butterfly lock, allowing Amazonia to get in with a quick torture rack and a quick victory.
Here's your winner, the Queen.
So certainly a lot that women power will have to take from this one. As Amazonia scores the first victory here, but how will things go out at Money in the Bank?
Giving I'm sick of feeling. Is there nothing you can say? Take this all away. I'm suffocating. Tell me what the fuck is wrong with me?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are backstage here. Buddy certainly showing that he does not forget, coming right back at King Valentine after, well, everything that he's done prior to WrestleMania. Trying to take Buddy out and just driving him down to the cement. Some unfinished business between these two. As atomic drop from King Valentine, as we all know. Security and officials making their way to the back, keeping these two from pretty much killing each other, especially after what we see FTW does in the backstage area.
The following contest is a triple threat full count anywhere match. Making her way to the ring from Los Angeles, California, the superstar Ricci.
Ladies and gentlemen, this matchup, a triple threat, falls count anywhere, as the man said, to determine #1 contender for the FTW Championship. Whomever wins here will go on to Money in the Bank to fight Loba for that very title. All three of these competitors have been doing rather well as of late in FTW. Ricci Ellis, who is really just trying to cheer up Cindy Sullivan, or basically pulled into the role of cheering her up, and garnering a few victories as a result, either alongside Cindy or on her own. And then, of course, we have Kasadeya Kendall, who certainly has been rising up herself. A great deal, a second time coming. And there she is, the hardcore fashionista. Took a moment to basically just laugh out at Heather Ray's loss a few weeks ago. Now she has her second opportunity to become #1 contender to the FTW Championship. said, she had the opportunity before a three-way dance that time. Unfortunately, it did not pan out for her that night. But she came back harder, faster, and more ruthless than ever. Has made her way back to this position, back to a potential contendership spot. Will Kendall finally get her opportunity to fight for the FTW Championship?
And from San Diego, California, luscious Violet Snow.
Violet Snow, who was victorious last week against aforementioned competitor Heather Ray. It was one hell of a fight between the two of them, dirtying up the ring with just about everything one could imagine to find underneath that ring. And as mentioned in that whole ordeal, Violet Snow was also part of the first ever contendership matchup, a matchup that eventually saw both other contenders become FTW champions themselves, in Porcelain Maid and the current reigning champion, Loba. So, of course, Violet Snow seizing the opportunity for a contendership matchup, hoping to take the title and make that triple threat more legendary than it already is. But there can only be one contender, one individual to face off against a Loba at Money in the Bank, and Violet Snow already showing not to be sweating this whole situation, especially given that falls can count anywhere. Seen some early teamwork between Kendall and Ricci. Not going to see too much more of it, I'm certain, as Snow managing to catch hold of Ricci from behind, but Ricci's landing on her feet, but takes the stunner. And the head scissors as Ricci comes in from behind, sends Snow over the top rope. And Kendall just taking Ricci down just by her weight alone. This is on the rebound as Ellis now going to try and take some advantage here. Sends Kendall over the top rope. Comes right outside. Already on the lookout for something, baseball bat, but doesn't get too much out of it. Snow going for that baseball bat and catches Ricci. Now Kendall, but Kendall just takes it and just keeps standing. Ellis with Kendall takes a few elbows to the midsection, and again, as in comes Snow once more. So out of these three competitors, Ricci Ellis has already been FTW champion at one point. As a matter of fact, holding it last year. Unfortunately, taking a loss to Cindy Sullivan as double drop kicks here from competitors. And now Kendall over the top rope, and in comes Ellis taking down Snow. Side headlock with a bit of leverage. And just a running Hurricane Rana, immediately taking down Kendall. As Ellis goes from one to the other, Kendall immediately back to her feet, catching Ricci from behind with a kick. Split-legged leg drop across Ricci Ellis' chest. Sledgehammer back inside the FTW ring. That one played out earlier between Bat Dad and Nomad. Looks like Violet Snow has competitors on either side, but rather than go for either of them, it takes a moment to just showcase catching the baseball bat to the face and now to the ribs, and again, once more from Ellis, showing that she's certainly learned a few things from Sullivan. Into the ropes, and backbreaker from Violet Snow, who's taken down with the German suplex from Kendall. And Kendall trying to go for a quick pinfall here, though Ellis with the immediate break. DDT on Kendall. Snow back to her feet. Counter from Kendall, sending Ricci to the corner. As Kendall trying to bring Snow to the other corner. Ed Kendall over the top rope. Ellis from behind trips out Snow's legs. And leg drop. Ellis looking for something. Steel chair in hand, going straight for Kendall. Takes out the leg from right from under her, as now Kendall looking for something. Kendo stick in hand. Goes right for Violet Snow, right across the forehead. Hoping that's going to be enough, but not with Ellis back inside the ring. Immediately taking Kendall down, low DDT. And DDT to the sledgehammer. Will Ellis manage to get out of this? And manages to just barely do so. Just out of instinct. Slowly getting to her feet, but twist out Kendall. Another kendo stick back into the ring. There's at least 3 kendo sticks I can see. And right to the ribs. As Ellis turned to try and get a hold of Snow. Now a cover. Immediate kick out from Ellis. He takes down Kendall against the ropes. And Snow helps herself to a bit of Kendall. Ellis, though, immediately takes her down, pulls her from the ropes. Not that it really matters. Another DDT, this time to the handle of the sledgehammer. Oh, Violet Snow basically left herself open for that one. Ellis sending Kendall into the corner. A little rope, but spotting Violet Snow up on her feet. Takes a kick to the butt. Spiking DDT to the outside. Goes Ellis, but comes immediately right back in. Knowing she can't linger on the outside. Has a hold of Kendall and just basically parades her around. Showcasing that even for such a small frame, she's got a good deal of strength. Now Violet Snow with the head scissors taking Kendall down. Drop kick now to the butt as Ellis just basically turns right around. Unable to get much of anything. Snapped right to the corner as Kendall makes her way back inside. Just holds back, watching the carnage. Immediately sends Violet Snow to the corner. Nice counter from Snow. Who has Kendall up with the vertebreaker. Into the corner and Ellis immediately there. DDT on Violet Snow. Here's the cover. Kendall, though, to her feet. Manages to break up the count after 1. Submission hold applied on Ellis. In comes Snow and makes the save. Submission hold now on Kendall. What a drop toe hold counters that. Ellis still feeling the effects as Kendall tossed to the outside. Snow helping Ellis up the rest of the way. Though I don't think out of kindness, now setting up for the vertebreaker. Kendall laid out on the outside. And vertebreaker connected. Violet Snow with the cover. And that is it. Violet Snow will go on to King of the Deathmatch. Or sorry, not King of the Deathmatch. But Money in the Bank to challenge Loba for the FTW Championship. Will the first ever Contenders triple threat be as legendary as Violet Snow wants it to be?
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the Fighting Dragon Championship.
You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Wild Child putting out the challenge to Number Guy. That's the greatest ever $1 million champion. He's yet to have his hold of the Fighting Spirit Championship. But tonight, things could be different. Coming away with a tremendous victory here, taking the Fighting Spirit Championship, and we could see him on a huge roll. Or the Fireheart's title just doesn't have the same moniker to him as the $1 million championship. Or in the less likely event, Wild Child could come out victorious against Number Guy, retaining his Fighting Spirit Championship. Fireheart Championship, as that has been the talk of the town as of late. But instead, ladies and gentlemen, this is Fighting Spirit. Say it with me. Firehearts. As out comes the current reigning Fighting Spirit champion, if you can believe it, Wild Child. Won this title back at WrestleMania, defeating Canuck one-on-one. And if that doesn't prove Fighting Spirit, then I honestly don't know what does. But this is his first defense. So what sort of Fighting Spirit champion is he? We will find out, ladies and gentlemen, in due time. Definitely ready. And certain Number Guy is as well. We take you now to the ringside area.
Introducing the challenger from Belfast, Northern Ireland, weighing in at 243 pounds, number one, Guy. And his opponent from Vancouver, British Columbia, weighing in at 219 pounds, he is the Fighting Dragon Champion, Wildside.
So here we go. Time to determine who will walk out of here with the Fighting Spirit Championship in tow. The belt held high aloft. Both competitors are indeed ready. And bell sounds as Number Guy comes rushing out, taking Wild Child down, clothesline to the face. Pulls him up and suplex on the Fighting Spirit Champion. Nothing else. Number Guy certainly came here to fight. Certainly came here to win. Stomp to the face, turns Wild Child right around. And repeated shots to the face, just one after the other. And more. It's like Number Guy thinks this is our first blood match. I mean, obviously it isn't. Child over the top rope. Number Guy has hold of him, shot to the head, and drop kicks him right off the apron. Out comes Number Guy. And does Wild Child even know that he's here to defend the title? So right back inside the ring as Number Guy heads to the top. And immediately comes down, but Wild Child having that one scouted. Wild Child playing a bit too defensive here. Finally getting into a few chops. Sends Number Guy to the ropes. And spinning heel kick. As Wild Child starting to pick things back up. No DDT there, but a forearm across the back. Now heads up top and makes another attempt, getting it this time. Wild Child continues just for a time being as Number Guy. No, Wild Child ducking underneath, keeps the fight going. Whoa, DDT from Wild Child, the master of the DDT, looking to finish this thing off. There's Number Guy on the outside, and out comes Wild Child, who takes a huge dive. Just absolutely misses. He's driven down to the face as Wild Child goes, no, not for the cover, goes for a series of headbutts. Not going to do him any favors, given what Number Guy has done to him earlier. Testing out the leg and the ankle. As Number Guy now on the back foot. Another DDT from Wild Child. Here's the cover. Almost. Just a 2 count for Wild Child. What a jawbreaker from Number Guy. See if he can continue on from that. As far as manages to do so, taking Wild Child down. Repeatedly going back for the face is the number guy. He brings Wild Child up to his feet. Wild Child blocking it. And comes, no! Number guy blocking it. Perhaps out of instinct, Wild Child trying to fight back. Wild Child in trouble here. Number guy just turning him around. Nobody really knows why number guy does these things. He just does them, tries for the belly to belly, and Wild Child managing to fight his way out of it. Flipping number guy up and over the top rope, and spears him right through. Crowd showing their support for this one. Sort of thing you get with the Fighting Spirit Championship. The never say die attitude. Going up to 6. Knee to the face. Wild Child's going to have to bring number guy back to the ropes. Another sunset pile driver. We're now up at 8. Wild Child back inside the ring. And back out again. Going to disrupt the count. As a true Fighting Spirit champion should. Hard against the apron and down. We're already almost through the count once more. And into the steel steps goes Wild Child as number guy heads right back inside. Three at 8. I don't know why number guy would want to try for a count-out victory. That would not give him the Fighting Spirit Championship. Belly to belly as number guy, blood on his face, looking to finish things off here. Takes Wild Child down, turns him around into the ankle lock. Can Wild Child get hold of the ropes? Doesn't need to. Clothesline from number guy, and here's the cover. Just a 2 count. Wild Child keeping his hold of the Fighting Spirit Championship alive. Number guy up on the top and misses on the knee drop. Wild Child looking to take immediate advantage. Blood on the face as well. Wild Child trying to open up the wound even more. Steps back, heads up to the top. And gets in with the elbow drop. Blood for blood as Wild Child glares down at number guy, I'm assuming. Low elbow drop. And down to the arm. As Wild Child just methodically taking number guy apart. Hard chop, but number guy fires back. Hold of the leg, goes again for the ankle lock. And this time Wild Child taps out. Number Guy taking hold of the Fighting Spirit Championship. Child, who started this thing off at a bit of a slow turn, managed to turn things around, but against the might of Number Guy, could not sustain for long. 2 ankle walk attempts, and the second one gets it with the amount of pressure. Child, unfortunately, unable to get to the side in order to get to the ropes, as Number Guy, the new Fighting Spirit champion.
She smiles so fucking awesome at me.
Champion.
And then he said, hey, he said,
Unfortunately, the referee just did not want to give him the belt out of fear. Number Guy is a very fierce competitor.
Whassup Wrestling is brought to you by the new Dub 7-pack. One more for the road. Oh yeah! Whassup Wrestling is brought to you by Snacky S'mores. Eat Snacky S'mores.
Ladies and gentlemen, last week we saw Roger Desmond and Tony J. Smith perhaps implode, taking each other on in a ladder match where Tony came out victorious. And tonight we see a rematch from a few weeks ago. Roger Desmond set to take on the Universal Champion Dork Killer in a non-title matchup. Yeah, Roger Desmond is coming down to the ring with, well, not his usual flair. Instead, he is coming down full serious mode. That is because at Money in the Bank, it will be a triple threat matchup. Dork Killer to defend the Universal Championship against the natural Tony J. Smith and the greatness Roger Desmond.
you can feel the fear when I walk by. Stare between your legs, make them running high. And I can see the pain pouring out your eyes. I feel your body starting to feel like a tear.
Weighing in at 165 pounds, the WWE Universal Champion,
And down comes the Universal Champion, who regained the title back at Survivor Series, successfully defended it in a rematch at Royal Rumble, and then defended it once more at WrestleMania. Say that outside of his WrestleMania match with King Valentine, Dork Killer is a triple threat when it comes to the Universal Championship, as both his regaining and first defense were triple threat matches. Now set to go one more time. Starting off, Desmond sending Dork Killer into the corner, comes into the running clothesline. As Dork Killer returns the favor. Last time these two went one-on-one. Roger Desmond won out by countout. Though it was the whole situation afterwards where Tony J. Smith came out issuing his challenge to Dork Killer that had people talking. Thus the following week, Roger Desmond attacking Tony J. Smith from behind, imploding the team, but garnering himself a #1 contendership for the Universal Championship as he takes a hit from Dork Killer. Back and forth, Desmond thinking that he had the chance. Sending Dork Killer around in all sorts of directions, finally pulling him in for the shoulder block. And stops in the midsection as Desmond brings him back up. Nice spiking Hurricane Rana. As Dork Killer takes the time, call out to the fans. Not in a flattering manner, I assure you. Desmond's hitting to the steel steps. I wonder if it would be poetic justice for Dork Killer to take a victory via countout himself. And Desmond telling his fans that he's still great. As Dork Killer warms up in the corner, gets in with a flying forearm. Overhand hit and a drop kick right into the gut of Desmond. Another Hurricane Rana from Desmond. As well, or Dork Killer brought back up. Neck breaker courtesy of Desmond. So at the very least know that the next time after Money in the Bank that the Universal Championship is defended will actually be at SummerSlam in a one-on-one matchup with this year's King of the Ring. We know of the 8 competitors, we just don't know whom it will be among them. As Desmond hitting up top and misses on the elbow drop, unfortunately for him. And Dork Killer trying to take immediate advantage there with the Dork Killer and tries again. Second attempt with the Dork Killer. And Desmond having him scouted on both efforts. No elbow drop from Desmond, though I don't think he's going to get too much out of an elbow drop. Surprisingly, assuming it would be a lot more than that. Shot right to the back. And neck breaker. Stop to the side of the head. Desmond once more brings Dork Killer back up and gets him in with a quick super kick. Only a 2 count for Desmond. As Dork Killer rebounding off the ropes, just throwing him right off of him. Another super kick from Desmond. Here's the cover. And Desmond scoring a victory over the Universal Champion. If you can believe it, ladies and gentlemen. Dork Killer victorious here against, Desmond victorious here against Dork Killer. Certainly earning his opportunity at the Universal Championship. 2 super kicks, and that's what does it.
Here is your winner.
So Desmond victorious here. Money in the Bank just a few weeks away. Wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen, the lights are out, and what the hell? Tony J. Smythe is here. Tony J. Smythe is in the arena. Has a hold of Desmond and chokeslams him right down. Not the most frequent move of Tony J. Smythe, but a return to form, ladies and gentlemen, as Tony J. Smythe comes right back at Roger Desmond. As we come to a close tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Money in the Bank just a few weeks away, triple threat for the Universal Championship, and things are definitely getting personal.